Good evening, my darling batlings. I'm still sick, as you could probably tell. Also, hello, Timo. I see you there in the
Timo.
chat. We're starting Spooptober early because, you know, there's only one day left in September, so we might as well get a head start on Spooptober. And I decided for Spooptober, I'm going to be streaming exclusively either horror games or just, like, you know, monster and, like, horror-themed games like Castlevania and Bloodstained, if we can fit it into the schedule.
So basically anything Gothic-related.
Anything Gothic-related, as well as, like, straight-up horror games. Like, I'm gonna be trying out Silent Hill 2 for the first time. So, hopefully that should be interesting. You're literally kicking it off with my favorite entry in the classic Castlevania title. Yeah, Symphony of the Night was my introduction to Castlevania, specifically the Xbox 360 remastered version, which is still a good version. It's compatible with modern Xboxes, thankfully. The only thing you miss out on is they removed the, like, 2 or 3 FMV sequences from the game to make it fit in a smaller file size, because at the time, Xbox digital games had to be under, I think, like 500 megabytes.
Yeah, but...
and FMVs take up the most space of, like, anything you can fit into a game.
Fair.
But yeah, we're playing the original PS1 version because I prefer the script and dub of that over the redubbed version that's currently available on PlayStation and nowhere else, which is weird that it's exclusively a PlayStation game when all the other Castlevania collections are on everything.
Yeah.
But
is that the one, which one is it where that whole line is like, die, monster, you don't belong in this world?
That's this one.
I thought so.
Oddly enough, the OG Sega Saturn has stuff the PS1 doesn't have. Yeah, and it has, the Saturn version was the one that introduced the Maria fight that would be included in the PSP version that served as the basis for the PS4, PS5 version. And I've played it before. It's not the best way to play Symphony of the Night, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. But anyways,
Maria.
Maria. Maria.
Oh, that's how it was said. It's been a while.
Yeah. How a smaller disc held more data is a mystery. It's not about the size of the disc. It's about how the disc is formatted.
Damn. It's not the size of the disc, it's how you use it.
I mean, that's basically what UMDs were. I also found out from the latest Scott the Woz episode about movies on game consoles that there was an entire, like, industry of, like, pornographic UMD discs that you could only play on a PSP. So, do with that information what you will. But yeah, let's get on over here.
Get out of the throne room.
Stop the music. And there we go. We got Duck Station loaded up.
Whack.
I would play this on the original PS1, but I don't feel like it. There it is.
That's fair.
Yeah, fitting. Also, Duck Station's apparently in a bit of drama, but with, like, the whole, like, open source software community, because the lead developer of it went and retroactively changed the license that was under, so it was no longer, like, open for everyone to make their own versions of. It was, like, something, it's a bunch of, like, legalese drama that's like something that's never even been brought up in court, so it's like whether it's debatable whether it's legal or not. Because like the entire idea of like the GNU license thing is like that's supposed to hold up in court, but none of this has ever been brought up in court. So it's more like an informal agreement.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God it's not blowing out my eardrums.
Ah, the sound of nostalgia.
Have you ever seen a PS1 startup screen when there's something wrong with the PS1?
I believe I have, actually, yeah.
They made it intentionally creepy, and I'm like, why would you do that for an error screen? Why would you make the error screen look like something out of a shitty creepypasta? But yes, my first Castlevania game, even before I played the original NES one. What are we going to name this file? I know there's certain names you can enter that give you like certain starting bonuses, but we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So no, there, we're naming it Hank.
Hank?
Hank.
Hank.
Journey back to 1792 and the Transylvanian countryside of Romania. You know, I actually had a friend throughout my childhood, and I think he's probably still tried to reach out to me on Facebook, probably, who was from Romania.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think certain members of my family, on both my parents' sides, are from Romania. But again, I think at least my great-grandparents were, I think one of them was from Romania, I think. I could be wrong. I had to ask my mom about that.
So yeah, this is one of the sequences that was removed from the Xbox version to fit it under a certain file size. This whole like opening shot of the castle, it just cuts straight to gameplay.
No,
like you don't miss much other than a bit of atmosphere.
Yeah, but you know, atmosphere makes the scene.
Also, for context, if you haven't played the previous game in the series, Rondo of Blood, the opening of Symphony of the Night, where you play as Richter, is the final boss fight of Rondo of Blood, but with dialogue now. This was probably confusing to American gamers back in the day, because we did not get Rondo of Blood until the mid-2000s on the PSP through the Dracula X Chronicles.
Oh, wow.
So, like, we kind of got Rondo of Blood. We got a Super Nintendo re-edit of it called Dracula X. But its final boss was different than this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go the Dracula X Chronicles needs to be re-released on PS Plus. If only
you don't belong in this world.
Time for Shakespeare.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by
humans who wish to pay me tribute. Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you. I've got every bit of that memorized. Christ. Just ingrained in my memory. Call it Brain Rod if you want. I think it... Oh, I've got the wrong... there we go. It's a Hydrostorm to just cheese this entire fight.
There's one thing I'm kind of hoping we... oh, damn, he turned into the Dracula monster now.
Yeah, it's tradition that after Dracula's more human form is defeated, he turns into a more monstrous form.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I was just gonna say, is like, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix did this, since they just did, since they're currently, doing Castlevania Nocturne.
Well,
featuring
their adaptation of Nocturne doesn't have Dracula in it.
True, but what I was gonna say was that what I'm saying is, since they're doing, since Nocturne, centers around Richter Belmont.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, it ends like setting up Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, because honestly, if there's anything I would like to see, I would love to see Aria of Sorrow get adapted into.
Oh yeah, Aria of
Netflix.
Sorrow would have to be one of the last seasons they make. That and Dawn of Sorrow mashed up, because like they're a continuous story, but they're also the most, like, in the timeline, they're the most modern games.
Right. Because they take place in like the 1980s or something like that.
No, they take place in the modern day.
Oh.
Because they make frequent references. To like Dracula being permanently sealed away inside an eclipse alongside his castle during a war against him that happened in the year 1999.
Oh, okay.
Which is an event we never see on screen, and a lot of fans want to see made into a game.
Nice. Also, hey, Dash Cat.
Hey, Dash Cat. Yeah, he showed up just here at the beginning, where we just witnessed some truly Oscar-worthy acting and kicked the shit out of Dracula. And it's okay that you can't stay for long. I understand that you've got stuff to do. Nate the Great says, "Good luck, guys. Lurky." Hello, Nate the Great. I appreciate you showing up. Have fun lurking.
Yep. We always appreciate newcomers.
Thanks for the follow. I like you're giving me good vibes already, Nate the Great.
I'm going to post the Discord link, so that way, if Nate the Great is interested, you can join if you so choose.
Anyway, this whole opening sequence where you play as Alucard and you've got all of his best equipment at the beginning, you just one-shot all the enemies. Okay, I know I'm glazing up this game a lot, but, like, seriously, it's an absolute masterpiece. Like, this is an excellent way to do, like, the Metroid style of progression, given that it was influenced by Super Metroid for its design. Of, like, having you be at full power at the beginning, and then take all of that power away from you. So you have a taste of, like, this is what you're capable of, and then it gives you motivation to get all of that back.
Nice.
Metroid Prime did a very similar thing by having Samus start out with a lot of her late-game equipment, as well as the Varia suit, and then taking that away from you at the beginning of the intro section, at the end of the intro section. Which was the first time I witnessed that in a game. It was also my first Metroidvania game in general. If you count Metroid Prime as a Metroidvania. It's got the Metroid part down, at least.
Yep.
But yeah, I like to stay down here with the mermen, since they infinitely spawn, and just level grind for a bit, because unlike a lot of later Metroidvania-focused Castlevania games, your level early on is very helpful, as opposed to just your equipment. Like, your health scales with your level a bit. So more health at the beginning is helpful in the long run. Also, a detail of the opening Dracula fight that not a lot of first-timers know about is that depending on how long it takes you to defeat both of Dracula's forms and how much damage you take during the fight determines what items and equipment you start with. Like, because of how I performed, I got the neutron bomb and the pot roast as starting equipment. It also influences the stats that you start with. Alright, I think we've done enough grinding here. I do want to make sure... Sorry, you don't start with the pot roast. I got the pot roast from that cave down there. But you start with the neutron bomb if you do like I did. If you get like an absolutely perfect run, I think you get something else.
Exactly.
Holy shit, this music. Yeah, this was the first Castlevania game to be released on a CD. Well, not the first one to be released on a CD-based console, but one that was a dedicated CD console instead of a CD add-on. And it made the most use of it with great music and a lot of voice acting.
Put an end to this. Still befriending mortals.
If you've played Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, you'll recognize Robert Belgrade, Alucard here, as Orlok Dracul, or OD, who is a direct reference to Alucard.
We will meet again.
And if you're a fan of obscure Transformers games like me, you'll recognize them as multiple characters from that Japanese exclusive Transformers PS2 game.
Oh, that, yeah.
I'm thinking about, if I do stream that, I definitely want to bring Chuck in for that, because I doubt he's very aware of that game.
Yeah, I
But, like, it would also be interesting. For someone that's, like, as hardcore into Transformers as he is, I think I would like to see his take on, like, it kind of mashing up G1 and the Japanese G1 continuity together.
Yeah.
Because, like, it has the Headmasters, but specifically the Headmasters from the Headmasters Japanese series.
Yeah. Where they weren't, small organic aliens partnered with giant robots. They were, like, tiny human-sized robots that were just using lifeless transectors.
Yeah.
Also, I love how it's, like, it's a giant fucking D20 spinning around the room.
Yeah, it's a giant D20 that turns into a coffin.
Which, that is just awesome.
In the Saturn version, which I have played on actual Saturn hardware now, it actually takes a bit longer to save your game because it's not as optimized for load speeds. Because the Saturn version was outsourced to a, like, not even B team, more like a C team of Konami that had never worked with this kind of game before. And had none of the original staff from the PS1 version available to help. But to compensate for coming out later and having slightly worse performance, it not only has Maria as a playable character and as a boss fight that was planned for the PS1 version but ultimately cut, it adds a couple new areas, monsters, and weapons. And there's so many cool things about Symphony of the Night if you have a physical copy of it. You can stick it into a CD player. And normally, like, it was an old thing back on these early CD-based games that, like, you could stick them into a CD player, and if you were lucky, you would get, like, the whole soundtrack for the game playing on your CD player by just sticking the game in there.
Nice.
If you do that with the PS1 version of Symphony of the Night, you get a warning from Alucard telling you not to stick the game in a CD player because it could potentially damage your CD player. And then afterwards, it plays an exclusive remix of one of the songs that is not heard anywhere else in the game.
Oh, wow.
Another game I know that does a similar thing is Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamcast, because the disc format for the Dreamcast was basically CDs with a gigabyte of storage. And if you stick the Skies of Arcadia disc into a CD player, you get a warning from the three main protagonists telling you not to stick the game in a CD player. And they say, and like it ends with the absolute Chad Vice saying, we can't save the world from evil in a CD player, so put us back in the Dreamcast so we can do our job.
It's been so long since I've seen a playthrough of Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, I'm holding off on doing a playthrough of that until, as like a subscriber or follower goal, whichever happens first. Basically, if we can get me to at least 500 subscribers on my archive YouTube channel, I'll do a review of Skies of Arcadia as well as a stream of it.
Nice. But yeah, Ari, I had an idea for like if you and I ever went to a con together. I don't know how you'd feel about this, but like maybe you doing cosplays of you as Richter, me as Julius Belmont.
I actually have both a Richter and an Alucard cosplay already finished.
Nice.
And it's the Symphony of the Night Richter. Because he has a different outfit in his official artwork that is not reflected in his sprite. But in the Saturn version, they updated his sprite to match his new artwork.
Oh, okay.
Basically, he trades out, like, you know, the more, like, barbarian-esque outfit for, like, a long blue coat, and he grows out his hair.
Oh, okay.
So this is our first boss fight, Slogger and Gaibon. They are a duo of enemies that I believe previously showed up in Super Castlevania 4, if I remember correctly. And we'll find them as regular enemies in one of the later areas of the game.
No, I loved seeing these guys in the Castlevania show on Netflix.
Yeah, one of the complaints that a lot of people had about the first couple seasons of the Castlevania Netflix series was that despite it being a very good adaptation, it didn't really feature many of the Castlevania monsters or music. So they fixed that with later parts of the show. Like we had a whole fight with, I believe it was either Slogger and Gaibon together or like just one or the other. And
no, I remember they were both there. I remember seeing them both in the show at the same time. So
and then the big fight against all the vampire generals in season 2 plays a orchestrated version of Bloody Tears, which is Carmilla's theme.
Nice.
Well, it didn't start as Carmilla's theme. It was just like the world map theme for Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. But it later became associated with Carmilla.
Okay.
Carmilla's not in this game, but she's in plenty of other games, and she's very different in the games than she is in the show. In that, in the games, she's just like a standard boss without any like ulterior motives, and she's also completely naked and riding a skull, and accompanied by her partner / potential lover, depending on how you look at it, who acts as like a second enemy that you have to fight.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the game. Most of the time, depending on the game, she either has her partner with her or she's fighting alone. Because like that comes from an old piece of vampire literature. I believe it was French in origin, somewhere in Europe, which was about basically like a lesbian romance horror story
I remember.
Introduced the character of Carmilla.
I remember that, yeah.
Introduced the character of Carmilla and would serve as the basis for Carmilla's portrayal in Castlevania.
Yeah, because I remember when I was doing my when I was taking British literature last semester.
Posture check. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw you were hunching down. I was like, better get up.
Well, it's not that I'm hunching down necessarily, although I was. It's that my tracking's a little bit off.
Oh, okay. Because you were lower than I thought you were supposed to be.
Yeah, my tracking's a little bit off because the camera's not positioned in the exact same place as it was last time.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
But thank you for the posture check, because I was hunching a bit.
No worries,
I'm trying
dude.
to improve my posture so I can strengthen my spine.
Yeah. But yeah, like I remember, like my first exposure to anything with Carmilla was that one movie, the Batman vs. Dracula, where they portrayed Carmilla as Dracula's bride, as like his actual wife, rather than being like two separate entities who had really nothing to do with each other.
Yeah. Let me just
Sure.
pause the game first so I don't get poisoned again.
Yeah.
And quickly reset my tracking so it's updated.
Yes.
It would help if I had it focused on Vignon properly. There we go. There we go. All right, tracking's fixed.
Excellent.
I don't want to seem like I'm hunched over like some sort of gremlin that's currently doing a subathon. And who recently broke the record for most subscribed to person in Twitch history.
Oh, wow.
Which, congratulations, Iron Mouse. You've earned it. You've definitely earned it.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's see. So, remind me, just so I remember, was there anything that you wanted signed by Christina V? Or anything? Or anyone?
If you can find anything that's related to either her character from Hyperdimension Neptunia or to Shantae, then I'll take that.
Okay.
Because those are my two favorite roles of hers.
That's fair. I'm gonna
her
have
character
her,
from Hyperdimension Neptunia is named Pampa.
Okay.
She's one of my waifus. And
That's
so
fair.
is Shantae. But she's probably more likely to have Shantae stuff, because that's like one of her favorite roles that she's performed.
That's fair. Because I'm gonna have her sign an art piece that I've commissioned my friend Sherry Ferry to do.
Like, the thing is, she appears in the game that you gave to Furret to get signed. Oops.
Well, he's going to be able to get her autograph, while he's going to animate 405, I believe. So,
yeah.
So you'll get, you'll get 2 autographs for the price of 1.
Which is free.
Yeah.
Free is my favorite price.
Yep. But yeah, like I'm gonna have her sign a art piece of her character from Hell of a Boss, a succubus by the name of Maraska Mayday.
I still need to watch
And I know,
Hell of a Boss.
Yeah, and I know exactly what I'm gonna have her quote on there if I can get a quote. Game on, bitch.
I do know that, like, if you somehow get something compo related signed, I don't have a specific quote of hers that I would want. Just like ask her to put like her favorite compo line on there. And for the Shantae one, probably her catchphrase, "Ret to go."
Yeah.
So, like, there's some interesting development history behind Symphony of the Night because, you know, this was the first Castlevania game to have some heavy planning work done by Koji Igarashi, who would later become like the main Castlevania guy up until he was kind of unceremoniously kicked out of the position with Lords of Shadow, and then kind of like shuffled away onto smaller projects without explanation until he decided to eventually quit Konami, which was for the best. But before this, he had never worked on a Castlevania game before. He was most known for working on Konami's very popular visual novel series, Tokimeki Memorial. So like he was like a guy that worked on dating sims.
Oh yeah.
And he wanted to work on Symphony of the Night because it looked more fun.
Fair enough.
And more interesting to work on than being stuck working on yet another dating sim.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, they had two main Castlevania games in development at that time, Symphony of the Night, and then they also had a 3D Castlevania game in development for the N64. Konami put all of their marketing strength behind the N64 one, thinking that was going to be the one that everyone would love. And while it did sell more, it got, like, mixed reviews at best. Whereas Symphony of the Night is seen as, like, genre-defining.
Oh, wow.
Like, it is the game that codified the Vania part of Metroidvania.
Oh, wow.
Because the previous Castlevania games were just your standard action platformers. Balls to the wall hard action platformers, but, you know, action platformers. There's only so much you can do with that before you need to spice up the formula.
Yeah.
And like I said, he looked to Super Metroid as a big source of inspiration for this game's overall layout and mechanics. But also adding in adding in like a more RPG-like system to it rather than just progressively getting upgrades that make you stronger and stronger. Making it so you can customize your loadout and therefore your stats as well to suit whatever playstyle you want. And that would go on to be one of the defining things of the Castlevania side of the Metroidvania genre, was the numerous bits of equipment that you can get to satisfy different playstyles.
Nice. Just quick confirmation. Kampa is like a nurse in training. She wears
yes,
like a...
that is
like
Kampa.
Yeah, the sweater and everything, a little
yes.
plaid skirt. Okay, want to make sure that was the right character.
Yeah, that's Kampa.
Okay, had to be sure.
Hey, Kier.
Hey, Kier. How you doing?
You're here, you're queer, get used to it. Another interesting little factoid that I know about Symphony of the Night is there's some unused audio on the disc that suggests, and it's in English, which suggests that it got pretty far into the planning process before being cut. That hints at potentially some alternate, like this game has multiple endings depending on how you play, depending on like what you do in the game and whether you kill or find a way around a certain boss in the game. There's audio on the disc that's dubbed in English that suggests that there was an additional, even worse ending than the bad ending that would have had Maria being turned into a succubus.
Oh, wow.
Or just, like, being consumed by Dracula's power in general. I am hideously underleveled to be fighting that, but we did it anyway. You want to know what that thing is called? And it bugs me that it's called that because there's another monster that looks more fitting for the name but doesn't have that name. Cthulhu.
Oh, jeez.
There's another monster you fight later on that looks like Cthulhu, but it's called, like, Malachi or something.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's not like, it's obviously Maria's voice actor doing the unused audio, not the succubus's voice actress. So we know it's something to do with Maria. But since there's no visuals to go with it, and we haven't had any confirmation from people who worked on the game about what it was supposed to be, it's unlikely right now that we'll ever know.
Yeah.
Also, if you need to know, like, the whole setup with, like, Maria and Richter, that is explained in the previous game, Rondo of Blood, where she was one of the two main playable characters. Although she was unlockable, but unlocking her gets you to the best ending. As long as you save the other maidens as well.
Excuse me.
In Rondo of Blood, Maria was a child, and in this game, she's an adult. Because this takes place, I believe, 5 or 7 years after Rondo of Blood. And basically, Rondo of Blood was all about Richter trying to defeat Dracula because Dracula captured his fiancée. And it also introduces some characters that, it introduces some characters that, show up in this game as well, like, the Dark Priest Shaft, namely. Like, if you didn't know about the Dark Priest Shaft being a central character to Rondo of Blood, his appearance in this game would seem like it came out of nowhere. And still kind of does, because you kind of kill him in Rondo of Blood. To think I've gotten this far without the shield. I've been unintentionally making this playthrough harder for myself.
How dare you?
I say without the shield, I mean without a shield.
Yeah. I've just sent you a couple of art designs, one from Newgrounds and then one's the official art of Compa. So we, like, after stream, just have a look at them and see which one you want me to get signed, and I'll have it signed.
Okay. The Dark Priest Shaft, not to be confused with the Black Legend Shaft. Exactly. You get. I'm just talking about Shaft. Can you dig it? You want to know something absolutely cursed that's tangentially related to the movie Shaft here? The guy who wrote and performed Disco Duck did a parody of the Shaft theme that's about the shark from Jaws. It's as terrible and as corny as you would imagine. Yeah, it's on the same album that Disco Duck was on. He also does a parody of Barry White called Barely White.
Oh, jeez.
My mom was horrified to find out some of this stuff because she actually knew. His name's Rick Dees, the guy that did Disco Duck and is also one of the most famous Top 40 radio hosts of all time. She knew him before he was famous.
Oh, wow.
My mom apparently has, like, all these tangential connections to, like, legendary musical artists, and it makes... it's like, why are you so cool but so like punishingly lame at the same time, mother? Because, like, another thing I recently found out when I just brought up the Ramones, because they were in one of the episodes that was being featured on the Space Ghost Marathon on YouTube, she told me a story about how she went to a party with the Ramones after one of their concerts once when she was in college.
Oh, jeez.
She didn't know who they were going in, and she regrets not, getting to know them better.
Are you, like, now, usually I'm not one to, you know, do this, but are you sure your mom wasn't just bullshitting you?
I mean, I don't have any evidence to the contrary, and I do know that she has celebrity connections, because one of the, doctors I've been seeing is someone who was recommended by one of her celebrity friends and usually only works with celebrities.
Oh, okay.
So, there's at least some hint of truth to some of the stuff that she's saying.
That's fair.
She also apparently was, like, casual friends with, one of the members of the Police. You know, the band. I believe she said it was either Stuart Copeland or their guitarist. Not Sting, obviously.
Yeah. Are these suits of armor you're just slaying left and right?
They're called axe armors. They're animated suits of armor.
I thought they were suits of armor. It's just like, one thing that kind of was a little confusing was like, one, the fact is that they're green with like an orange, what looks to be like this pouch or something where the, like in the chest almost. It looks almost like a frog.
They come in various color schemes that indicate either, no, that's not a pouch. That's like part of the breastplate.
Yeah, but it just looks like, you know, like that of a frog. Like it's, you know.
Oh, we encounter some frog enemies in a later area.
Oh, okay.
They're some of the most annoying enemies in the game because they're too small to hit easily.
What are they, Kappa?
No, they're not Kappa. They're just frogs.
Oh.
Just regular, bigger than regular ass frogs, but still just frogs.
Yeah, hold that thought.
I can't hold that thought. Carmella's not in this game, although the succubus is in this game. I'm not going into the room where you meet Maria until JKR comes back so he can witness some more god-tier voice acting. As well as showing what era this game was made in. Because, you know, Alucard unironically referring to someone as Milady without coming off as, you know, a fedora-wearing Redditor.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. These are the most annoying enemies in the game, and in every Castlevania game. The Flea Men.
They look like flea men.
They date all the way back to the original Castlevania, and they're a pain in the ass in every game. Anyways, get ready to meet Maria. And some more god-tier voice acting.
You seem human, and yet, what do you here?
I've come to destroy this castle.
Then we have the same purpose. I'll trust you for now. I'm Maria. Who are you?
Alucard.
Not the talkative type, I can see. Well, perhaps we'll meet again, if you live that long. Farewell.
She's cute.
Yes, she is. And she's a central part of that radio drama that I told you about. Well, technically it's a CD drama because it was released on CD and not played on radio, but that's splitting hairs. It's about like after Symphony. The radio drama takes place like after Symphony of the Night when Alucard is convinced that like he needs to go into hiding again like he did before the beginning of Symphony of the Night because he believes that as a descendant of Dracula, he's part of a cursed bloodline and that the world would be better without him. And Maria's like living with him in a little cabin trying to show him that like, no, you can live a happy, normal life and I'm totally not crushing on you really hard. We also find out that she's a terrible cook.
Oh wow! Also,
like even Alucard's afraid of her cooking.
I was just gonna say that for the what you called the radio drama, the technical term, an all-encompassing term,
audio drama. I know.
Yeah, audio drama.
But like in Japan, they have specific designators for depending on the format they're released on, like either radio drama for stuff that's broadcasted or CD drama for stuff that's released on CD, which this was.
Oh, I see.
Maria's cooking to defeat Dracula. Don't make me laugh. You're gonna tear up my throat even more. And not in the fun way from like doing anime streams. Or like Super Saiyan power-ups.
Yeah, Dracula should really try out my cooking.
The thing is, Dracula's not awakened because the whole reason that Alucard is investigating is because Dracula's castle is only supposed to rise once every 100 years, and it's come back up after only like 5 or 7 years, whatever the gap between Rondo of Blood and this is, and everyone's going to it because like, hey, what the fuck? This isn't supposed to happen for another century. Why is it arisen again?
Yeah.
Is my throat damaged? I'm sick, my dude.
Is his throat damaged? Yes. Yes. Well, you could say that. I mean, I think certain somebody tore out his voice box.
I mean, my throat's not like, shredded. It's just like my voice is not as strong as it usually is. So I'm trying not to strain it too much. That's why I'm keeping kind of like a more monotone, subdued voice for this stream as opposed to being more energetic like I sometimes am.
Yeah. It's understandable, Kier. You got a lot on your plate, so...
Yeah. If you got a lot on your plate, you know what you should do? You should order less. I'm pretty sure that thing was inspired by Little Shop of Horrors, because there are some monsters in this game that are inspired by pieces of literature and movies and media in general. Hell, Castlevania itself is inspired by Universal monster movies.
What'd you get petrified for?
It spits the little projectiles it spits out petrify you on contact.
Oh.
But you can break out petrification by button mashing. The problem with petrification is that you take more damage when you're petrified.
Yeah.
By the way, you have to date one of the monsters from Castlevania besides the succubus. What would you date? The Elrona, the plant lady. Without a doubt, I would date her. I would date her so hard, then marry the fuck out of her.
So, out of curiosity, in the game, in the Castlevania games, at least for like this timeline, does Dracula's castle teleport from like place to place, or is that just something that they made up for the anime? It does
appear in different places from every time. Like it's usually in this part of the timeline. It's usually somewhere in Romania. But later on in the series, it starts appearing in places like Japan, for example.
Okay.
but it's usually somewhere in Romania. Like, the thing about Dracula's castle is that the castle itself is like an eldritch location that is sort of like its own like world within a world. Sort of like a pocket dimension, but it's not a separate plane of existence. And it changes its form every time it appears. So even if you were to, like, brave the horrors of Dracula's castle and slay Dracula, and somehow come back 100 years later the next time it arises, it would be a completely different layout than it was last time.
So, kind of like the Doctor's TARDIS, then.
Sort of, yeah. Like, the way that Alucard directly... Aria and Dawn is Japan, right? Aria is technically within a solar eclipse, and then Dawn is in Japan. Like, the solar eclipse happens in Japan, but it's a pocket dimension within the solar eclipse.
Roll for initiative.
Like, as far as how exactly the castle works, Alucard directly refers to it in this game as a creature of chaos that can take many forms. And there is a game that explains, like, where Dracula got his powers from and how he got the castle, but we haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah.
That would be Lament of Innocence, which is both the origin story for the Belmont clan and the origin story for Dracula. I hate the doppelganger. It's so fast.
Gotta go feast.
I'm pretty sure I have a better sword now. No, I don't. I get the better sword after this. I could use the Basilard, but I'm not much of a knife user in Castlevania games. There is a way you can, like, cheese this fight by, tricking the AI into, like, doing the same thing over and over again. But I'm not good enough at this game yet to be able to do that on command. I can only do it by accident. Oh, I've never seen it take the bat form for anything except the ram attack. I think I've got it stuck.
That's probably why.
Ah! So close.
Get so far.
Oh, well, at least I saved right before that fight, so I don't have to go back very far. Let us go out this evening for pleasure. The night is still young.
Game over. You lose.
And yeah, this is a PS1 game, so like a lot of PS1 games of this era, if you die, you go back to the title screen. So imagine playing this without a memory card, since PS1s didn't come with memory cards.
Yeah.
Time to reload Hank.
Yank.
Hank.
No!
Yes. By the way, we have to fight the doppelganger twice. We fight a stronger version of it later in the game.
Oh, jeez.
It's the only boss that we have to fight twice that doesn't involve it being reduced to, like, regular enemy status. Oh no, the horse!
Nice, the horse.
That's not sauce, my dude. That's blood. I mean, blood is the sauce of life, if you think about it. I'm half vampire, okay? I kind of need my blood. And I'm half vampire and I'm also anemic. I need as much blood as I can get.
Yeah.
Yes.
To be
That's
honest,
unfortunately
dude,
the hand I was dealt.
to be honest, dude, when I made that joke the other night, I legit didn't realize that you were anemic. I don't know if you've ever told me. Maybe you have.
I didn't take offense to it. I thought that made it funnier.
Yeah, I was just like, I thought about it. I was like, oh, God damn it. Like, first I'm thinking, like, great, he ruined my joke. Then I thought about it. It's like, you know, it's so funny.
Thanks for the head pats.
Pats on each hand. I'll let you hold my hand and we can do other lewd things, but I need my head pats on each hand.
Fucking hell, I'll pat you, damn head. Now stop joking me.
Thanks for the head pats. I need to set it up so the head pats last longer, like the length of the audio clip.
Right.
But it's like a very complicated graph that I download from Vinyl to set up all those nodes to make the head pat happen like that. And I don't want to break it because it took so long to get it right.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'm pretty sure you can get better syrup before this. Oh, is the clip just not going to play?
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did? I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting... I could probably damage boost past that guy. There we go. Very risky move.
Yeah. Also, am I right in assuming that you haven't seen the finale of
I still haven't finished season 4.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. Because I so badly want to talk to you about the events of the show, but I don't want to spoil it for you either.
Yeah, I haven't finished season 4, let alone gotten to Nocturne yet.
Yeah.
Also, would you like to know where the Nocturne name for the current Castlevania series came from? The original Japanese name of Symphony of the Night roughly translates to Nocturne in the Moonlight. So that would, by calling it Nocturne, it's a key, it's like a clue to people that are in the know about Castlevania's games that it's not just going to adapt Rondo of Blood, it's also going to do Symphony of the Night.
Oh, okay. Apparently my mom was just here and I didn't even see her. Well, she just dropped off some vitamin supplements for me and apparently just went back downstairs.
Is it the Flintstones vitamins?
No, it's I haven't taken those in a long ass time. No, this is
but those are the best kind of vitamins. Because they're like they're like sweet tarts, except they taste like shit.
Yeah, no, these vitamins, I say they're vitamins, but they're more like nutrition. Like I don't even know if they're vitamins. They're more like supplements. Trifala and turmeric. Well, one's turmeric and the other is Trifala. So the turmeric's supposed to help with my depression, and then the Trifala is basically to help my IBS issues.
Okay. By the way, that bird that just flew away from that nest.
Nevermore.
Well, no, it's not a raven. It's like a seagull.
Oh, fuck seagulls.
If you keep coming back here every now and then, you'll see that it's raising an egg, and then eventually that egg hatches into a chick.
Oh.
Just one of the many cool things in Symphony of the Night.
Nice.
Like, one of the coolest things to me is in that clock room where we met Maria. The clock moves, the clock hands move in real time, and the upper passages in the room open at specific times on the clock. But yeah, when I said that, like, there's some enemies in this game other than, you know, the Universal movie monster, you know, classic monster movie characters. There's a trio of enemies that you fight in a later part of the game that are a lion, a scarecrow, and a tin man.
So, one can while away the hours, confer with the flowers, and consult with the rain.
Yes. And the Scarecrow, by the way, is like, not like, you know, the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, like the classic MGM version. It is like a straw man impaled on a pike that's hopping around.
Oh, wow.
And the Tin Man is like a steampunk robot.
Nice.
And the lion is like a lion, like a, you know, your standard beast man, like something out of Beast Formers.
Okay.
But thematically, they're based off of, you know, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
The room that you fight them in is a library. Also, one of the best sword in the game, apart from the Alucard sword, is named after something from Tolkien's work. It's called the Crissaegrim. And you can also get the One Ring after beating the game for the first time and defeating a certain enemy. It might drop a ring called the Ring of Varda, which is based on the One Ring from Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
And the Crissaegrim is actually, like, it got that name in the localization process, which, fun fact, the localization in this game was done by the brother of Matty Blaustein, who you might know as the voice of Meowth, and the voice of Yugi's grandpa, and the voice of the President in Shadow the Hedgehog, and Omega from Sonic 06 to the end of the 4Kids era. Yeah, her brother Jeremy Blaustein was a localizer for Konami. He also worked on Metal Gear Solid and Snatcher.
Nice. Ooh, excuse me.
And his localization work was known for not exactly being always 100% faithful to the original script, but localizing it in a way that still keeps a lot of the original intention while making it not like tied up in cultural references. So like very good localization work is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Unlike what 4Kids always had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric Stewart, who was a prominent actor for 4Kids, you know, Brock, Kaiba, among others, has gone on record saying that, like, 4Kids didn't always, like, willingly seek to dumb down and change a lot of stuff in their dubs. Like, yeah, that was Americanizing it was part of the corporate policy, but a lot of the stuff like toning down violence was like demands from the networks.
That's understandable. Like I get toning down the violence. That's understandable.
And removing references to death, even if it fucks over the story, was due to like network demands rather than actively seeking to make the shows worse.
Yeah, like I understand, like the whole like with Yu-Gi-Oh, instead of it being like, oh, this person's dead, no, it's like their soul's just banished to the Shadow
Realm. Yeah, that
honestly,
was entirely inspired by network demands.
Yeah, but honestly, it worked. Something like that actually worked because
it kept with the mystical vibe of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. And I remember
Plus, if it weren't for that, we wouldn't have all the memes about banishing someone to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. Like 5Ds, like the third Yu-Gi-Oh series, Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, which honestly was one of my favorites outside of the original. I liked the first season arc where it was like they had the whole thing where it was like, oh, you have like these quote unquote dark signers, and like with them it's like, oh, they if you lose a duel with them, they couldn't say death, obviously. They couldn't make any sort of real reference to death. They made some references to like ghosts and stuff like that, but they never flat out said death or anything. But what they did do was the Dark Signers, if you lost a duel to a Dark Signer, or if the Dark Signer lost a duel to you, then you'd be dragged down to the Netherworld.
I'm gonna throw two things out there since you brought up 5Ds, and it just spurred the worst thoughts in my mind, even though I haven't seen 5Ds.
Yeah.
Wood Rocket, if someone from your marketing department is listening, I'm giving you this one under the agreement that you pay me royalties for giving you this idea. To go with your shitty porn parodies, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 double Ds.
Yeah.
And second of all, 5D's nuts.
Yep. Do you want to know what 5Ds actually stood for?
Dragons.
Yep.
That was just a guess.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, like
that was
I
a
remember,
guess because dragons always somehow factor into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it was all about dragons, honestly. And I remember as a kid,
nuts.
I remember as a kid, like when they were first like promoting the series, I legit thought that the show was like 5Ds was short for 5 dimensions. But after, like years down the line, after like the show had finally concluded in America, I was like, oh, it's 5 dragons, god damn it. Unfortunately, 5Ds never actually finished in America.
Just like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Yep.
It's that's like, one of the most infuriating things about a lot of like latter day kids anime dubs. It like Digimon Fusion has the same problem. It's like if you're not gonna bother to dub the whole series, then why dub it in the first place?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like that's what I done.
Like it's one thing if it got canceled, but it's another thing to like have entire seasons of it not get brought over.
Yeah. Yeah, Kieran, like you agree with me. It's like 5 dimensions sounds cooler.
That's eventually like there is a Yu-Gi-Oh movie that was subtitled 3D that stood for like I can't remember what it was, but it was like the 3D didn't refer to it being a 3D movie, but instead like it had 3D words as its subtitle.
Yeah, I remember that show.
I'm not thinking of Dark Side of Dimensions. It's a different one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know, like, I remember exactly what you're talking about. It was like the era where they had, like, basically they had Yugi, Jaden, and the main protagonist, Yusei from 5Ds, team up together to duel this guy who apparently was from the future and corrupting
Yu-Gi-Oh corrupting duelist cards to create like the quote-unquote malefic monsters.
Just so you guys are aware, this might be a shorter stream tonight because I am still sick.
Yeah.
You want to talk about corny? The original Yu-Gi-Oh movie was corny because it was made just for America.
Oh yeah.
And they ended like the Japanese like when they brought the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie over to Japan, they had to come up with like additional lore for like what the fuck the Pyramid of Light and the whole thing with Anubis was. And they ended up making it tie into the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh very loosely, which is where like Akhenaten was planning on building like basically a counterpart to the Millennium Puzzle and the Millennium Rod to be wielded by Priest Seto. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, the Pyramid of Light was supposed to be like the anti-Millennium Puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that because it was like literally, it was supposed to be like the opposite of the Millennium Puzzle. To the fact is that, you know, literally it was an upside down Millennium Puzzle.
But like they explained that like, oh, it was created by Akhenaten from the final season.
Yeah.
Now, how Anubis factors into this, I don't fucking know. My favorite memory of, like, I saw that movie in theaters, right? One of the few people that did. Because that movie bombed at the box office and
I am not surprised.
Served as, like, the nail in the coffin to 4Kids ventures into theatrical movies. After the Pokemon movies were forced to go direct to DVD.
Yep.
I told my granny about, like, I was giving my granny, like, a plot summary and talked about the villain, Anubis, and she misheard me because she was hard of hearing and she thought I said a nudist.
That cracks me up because, honestly, that is a, there is actually a joke in an old, I think it was a British cartoon called Count Duckula. Where
oh, yeah, I know Count Duckula. Yeah, that's a British series.
Yeah, so there's like a joke in Count Duckula where, you know, the Count is actually learning about ancient Egyptian deities, and like when
also
one of them
you said
brings
the
up
name wrong. It's not Count Duckula, it's Count Duckula.
Yeah, but I remember like literally like the Count is like learning about ancient Egyptian deities, and when he comes across Anubis, immediately the nanny, just basically like the maid or nanny, whatever her name was, just basically covers the Count's eyes, and she's like, "I'm not gonna have you looking at naked people." So that's why I'm laughing, is the fact is that like your granny apparently had the same exact experience as that TV show, just completely independent from each other, which is hilarious.
Can we talk about how this monster that I keep killing? I think it's called like I can't remember what it's called. We'll see its name later once I get the artifact that shows monster names. But like the lady sprite on it has like dedicated sprite work to show off her bare ass. Yeah, that plays into like Koji Igarashi was not the character designer for these Castlevania games, but he did come up with like concepts for character designs and had a dedicated like look that he wanted the characters to have that was then fleshed out by the artist Ayami Kojima, not to be no relation to Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
But he said he said in a thing about his later game Bloodstained that when designing a lot of female monsters for his like Castlevania or Castlevania inspired games, he likes to do like a mix of horror and eroticism. Which is why you get like Bloodless in Bloodstained, or why Miriam has so much exposed skin in Bloodstained. Or the succubus that we'll see later, who's just straight up topless.
Hey, Lulu.
Hey, Lulu. What kind of run am I doing? I'm just doing a casual run. I'm at least trying to get the best ending. But I'm not, like, doing a speed run or anything.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah, I think the axe would be better for this fight than the knife. Unlike Ghost and Goblins, don't get the knife. Or sorry, dagger. Because he ducks under the daggers, and you can't throw the daggers from a crouching position. There we go.
Finally.
Let me ask you a question, doppelganger. Are you ready to die?
I get ready to die.
There we go. That's that better sword I was looking for. I knew it was right after him. The Gladius. And I'm not going to stick with it for long because pretty soon we're going to unlock the shop. And with the shop, we can early on get a really good sword. That'll carry us through a lot of the early game. Like, I know there are better things that you can save up your money for in the shop, but that's how I usually play it. Yo, Nico, good luck. You're going to need it. I am going to try and get the Crusadegrim, just for, like, the sheer fun of how broken that weapon is. So, you know, I'm gonna need the good luck on getting the schmooze to drop the Crusadegrim. I'm pretty sure that's triggering some trauma from one of Nico's runs. All right, we're in the library.
The long
library. Fun. There's an enemy in this game that I think you'll like. JKR. It is a skeleton who is missing his head like this guy, except he's like constantly accidentally kicking his skull away from him. And his name is Yorick.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him. Horatio.
Like I said, a lot of literary and media references in this game.
Yep.
Alright, the Bronze Cuirass is going to be better than the High Cuirass. Hey, Nate the Great. Glad to see you're still enjoying what you're seeing. I welcome lurkers in my streams, so no need to there's no need to be like really frequently active in chat if you don't feel up to it. And yes, I shall hydrate. I shall lubricate my throat for you.
Let me know when you get to the shop.
There we go. Yeah, the shop's on the upper floor of the long library. we're about to meet the Master Librarian, who has one of the best voices of this whole cast. He's so fun to do impressions of, just like Master Roshi. I really like how this game makes use of 3D models for certain kinds of enemies and elements in an otherwise 2D game. It's something that you can only pull off on this generation of hardware. You couldn't have done that on like the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Which interestingly, Symphony of the Night began its life as a 32X game that got canceled called well, it was just, like, internally known as Castlevania. Or rather, its Japanese title, Akumajo Dracula. But the fandom has come to know it as Castlevania the Bloodletting. And, as a matter of fact, Richter's sprite from this unused, from this canceled 32X game gets reused as one of the bosses with some tweaks.
Oh, okay.
Basically, zombie impersonators of Trevor, Sypha, and Grant from Castlevania 3. You have a Castlevania for Xbox 3. This is that game, Chris. This is Symphony of the Night. That's the one that's on Xbox 360, which is how I first played it. But this is the original PS1 version that has some extra cutscenes.
It's been a long time, old one.
Oh, it's you, Master Alucard. What do you need?
I told you the Master Librarian has the most fun voice.
Young Master, I cannot hate one who opposes
the Master?
You won't go unrewarded.
Really? In that case, just tell me what you need.
I'm interested in...
We've at least got a Zircon that we can sell.
I'm interested in this.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
And a version that is like Devil May Cry. That's probably... if you're playing it on Xbox 360, it's probably Lords of Shadow.
Thank you.
Which I'm planning on doing later this month.
Nice.
There we go, the Damascus sword. That's gonna carry us through a lot of this game.
Thank you.
Lords of Edge.
Lords of Edge, yeah, it is a pretty edgy game, as was the style at the time. Sorry.
6.
Farewell for now.
Alright, we're good for now. So, like, Damascus Sword jumps us all the way up to 25 attack, which is pretty good for early in the game.
Nice.
And, we got the Velvet Hat. No more of these to equip.
Let's see. Timo says, fun fact, there was a weapon that used the gems, but it got removed, but the gems didn't. As a result, they had to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, I believe that weapon, I think that weapon was one of the things that was included in one of the later ports, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that explains why the gems show up only to be vendor trash. You're planning on buying a jailbreak PS2? The thing with PS2 is that you don't even really need to jailbreak them anymore unless you're like trying to play original copies, because there's a very easy I wouldn't even call it a soft mod. It's basically just a trick you can do with a certain program that tricks your PS2 into thinking that the game you're trying to play is a movie, and then it loads it up, you know, bypassing the copy protection entirely. It's real simple to do, and it's compatible with, I think, like, damn near 100% of the library. Worked with everything I've tried it on, just as long as you have a good quality DVD that you're running it on. Look it up. It's called Free DVD Boot. But the method I use, because using too many unofficial discs can wear out the laser and the motor on the drive quicker, is I use a very complicated setup that involves using the homebrew program OpenPS2 loader combined with a Raspberry Pi that's hooked up to a hard drive full of games and then plugged into the Ethernet port on the PS2. So I can play the entire PS2 library off of a 5 terabyte hard drive. Like, it's the closest workaround that slim PS2s like mine have, since the more convenient hard drive loading method with OpenPS2 loader only works on fat PS2s because it requires the broadband adapter, which is not compatible with the slim models. Yeah, if your PS2 Slim has a dying CD drive, look into the method that I use. I'll try and find the tutorial that I set it up with, and get you started with it. Especially because Raspberry Pis are really cheap. Oh, sorry, not Kier, Timo. Sorry, you can tell I'm still sick and not all here.
I was just gonna say, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought Kier had a fat PS2 and an HDD, and he just corrected me on that. Yeah, smooth brain attack. Not even smooth brain, like fuzzy brain. That's why I haven't been to the grocery. I don't think I'm safe to drive. So I just ordered pizza tonight.
That's fair.
So I could get at least some protein from the cheese.
Ah, yes. The cheese.
Also, the skeleton ape enemies, which are in this game and Rondo of Blood, clearly inspired by Donkey Kong. Because they're skeleton apes that throw barrels.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Thanks for the head pat, Kier.
Fucking hell, I'll catch you, damn head. Now stop joking me!
Head pats for health.
Head pats for health. Fun fact, there's a small percent chance that when Alucard turns to stone, he turns into a gargoyle. Yeah, I've seen that happen to me multiple times. I love that little, I don't know if you would call it an Easter egg, but it's just one of the fun little things that can happen in Symphony of the Night. There's also an Easter egg that... Okay, I'll hydrate. There's also an Easter egg that's in the Saturn version of Symphony of the Night, where if you have the fairy familiar equipped and sit down in one of the chairs that you can find and just wait there for a bit, the fairy will start singing a song.
Nice.
And they carried that over into Bloodstained, as well as giving the song an English dub. the Saturn version also has its own exclusive familiars that are basically just like slightly altered versions of the familiars you already get. Like instead of the demon, you get the goblin, which is like a Tengu instead of an imp. It's in the PSP. It's in the PS2 version. 2, you just have to wait longer. Yeah, they added it into. They added some of the Saturn content into the PSP updated version that later was carried over to the PS4 collection. They didn't carry over everything. Like, they added Maria as a playable character, but they gave her Rondo of Blood playstyle instead of the like, more melee-focused playstyle, that melee and magic-focused playstyle that she had in the Saturn version.
You know, I get the feeling these skulls are kind of lonely up here.
Because they ain't got no body.
Yep.
I think they have a bone to pick with us.
Now the Spider-Bone has anything to say about it.
Oh god, I need to get back to Spider-Man sometime. That's still one of my favorite clips.
Yeah.
Because I like, it's a perfect instance of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like, I was an absolute jobber in that clip. I had my Vegeta moment of getting all psyched up for a fight and then getting my ass kicked immediately. Alright, we got our first transformation. The wolf.
Oh, nice.
Also,
Hungry
there's a
like the
dedicated
wolf, eh?
Bork button.
So you're
Alucard
hungry
is
like
the
the wolf,
goodest
eh?
boy.
Are you hungry like the wolf?
You know, that song's actually about stalking someone. From the perspective of the stalker.
Oh, God.
It's the most upbeat song about stalking people.
Oh, jeez.
That, at least out of the ones that, made it to, you know, the top 40 radio hits.
Yeah.
The music with the
Right,
very
such a-
detailed face has some of the best music in the game. Sure. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, now that we have the wolf, we can dash. We get 2 other transformations in this game. We get the bat transformation and the mist.
Nice.
Which, you know, if you've read Dracula, those are all forms that he took in the novel.
Yep.
Which I did read Dracula.
And now you know why it's so hard to act. Hey, Death, I knew you were gonna show up at some point. If you've read the Dracula novel, you know why it's so hard to adapt it faithfully into a movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not written like a story that can be easily adapted. It's a series of journal entries.
Right. It's like the... Yeah, right? I was just gonna make the same joke, Timo.
Well, yeah. You are technically correct. The best kind of correct. Also, we just got a magic missile. So yes, there's your D&D reference. You installed Doom on your grandma's flip phone. That's awesome. I love how Doom is like so like if it has a processor, you can probably port it there somehow. I've seen Doom ported to graphing calculators. There was also, I believe there was someone that ported Doom to a pregnancy test.
How the fuck did they pull that? You know, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
It was a digital pregnancy test.
Now.
Yeah, they ported Doom to Sonic, as in Doom running inside of Sonic.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't know they've done it with the first game. I knew that they did it with Sonic Mania.
Start on move.
At a tech con, Doom was ported to a badge and yes, a pregnancy test. Yep. There was also someone, I can't remember whether this was exposed as a hoax or not, but supposedly someone ported Doom to one of those McDonald's kiosks.
Very funny, Death.
But yeah, it's like there's a reason that Can It Run Doom is a meme. It's because it's so easy, theoretically, to port Doom to all sorts of stuff. Because the reason it's so easy to port Doom, other than it, you know, having relatively low spec requirements for as in terms of modern day processors, even though it was pretty demanding at the time, is because they released the source code for it so people could make any ports they wanted. Like, that's a thing that id Software used to do back in the day before they were bought by Bethesda. They would like after the game's life cycle was done, they would release the source code for it so people could do whatever they wanted with it.
Nice.
They also did that with Quake, because, you know, same developers.
Yeah.
Like, they did that up until Doom 3. That was the last one that got source code released. Lame Bethesda agreed. I like the detail that Alucard yells in fear when the elevator goes down. It's like that you saw how that thing moves, right?
Yeah.
Did Doom 3 source code release? Yes, it did. That's why people were able to make a couple source ports for it, the most popular being Doom, DHEWM, which makes it easier to run on modern operating systems, has been ported to Xboxes with dev mode enabled, and supports controllers, has modding support for most mods that don't modify specific files. Like the subtitle mod doesn't work with Doom, but it like pretty much all the other mods do. And it supports like higher resolutions and widescreen, as well as support for like replicating the EAX audio that the original Doom 3 had. That's normally not possible on modern machines due to the drivers for EAX being discontinued a long time ago. That basically like adds more depth to the sound to make it more echoey and sound more like you're in a series of corridors. He can fall from great heights with no problem, but the floor falling with him scares scaring him is great, almost as if he had a bad experience with elevators as a child. I mean, I feel like he had a lot of bad experiences as a child, given who his dad is. And given what happened to his mother.
Yeah.
That's another thing that the audio drama delves into that I want to get around to dubbing that sometime. Maybe not this Halloween, but for a Halloween special. Is like it has flashbacks to his younger days living in the castle where he met and befriended his new butler, Ludmil, who became like his only friend and confidant in the castle. It also has the only appearance of an incubus in the Castlevania series, who is the villain of the audio drama. I believe his name's Magnus. We see plenty of succubi throughout Castlevania, but only one incubus throughout the entire franchise. He's only in an audio drama, but there is artwork to accompany the audio drama. So we know what he looks like.
Nice.
I mean, if the stories are to be believed, he had a very caring father and mother until his mom was accused of a witch and burned at the stake, and his father went mad with grief. Yeah, but keep in mind, that was his second wife. He had already gone through, like, a very dark humanity-hating period before, after his first wife was killed. Which was the whole reason he became Dracula.
Oh, wow.
But, like, the thing is, and that's what they went, this is what they went with in, the Castlevania Netflix series, depicting it in its first episode, was that his second wife, Lisa, who was the, mother of Alucard, yeah, not literally married, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But, like, Lisa was the one that, like, tried to convince him that there is good in humanity. And he mellowed out for a bit until she was wrongly executed as a witch for basically being the town healer.
Yeah.
And that was like the moment that that made Dracula snap and wage war on humankind.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1100 close enough to married, yeah. Because before he was just pissed at God for Elizabeth's sake. Yep. Like, the reason he became Dracula was, like, he wanted to wage war against God.
Yeah. So apparently, his
because
wife Elizabeth,
previously, if I remember correctly, when he was a human named Matthias, he was a crusader, I believe. Which is why his beef was with God and not mankind.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, the whole, like, I killed in your name, and this is what I get.
Right. Yeah, I believe that's basically what they did for the Francis Ford Coppola movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the inspiration for how Matthias was portrayed in Lament of Innocence. Given that Castlevania does draw from a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Matthias Kronfe's a crusader, tactician, and genius alchemist. Yep. He was an average warrior, but a brilliant scientist. As Ocean Dub Vegeta would say.
That also explains why it is his castle has, like, so much in the way of, like, scientific equipment.
Yep, he was an alchemist. And yep, the original Belmont of the Belmont clan, Leon Belmont, was Matthias's best friend, and he was a commoner who rose up to the ranks of noblemen through all through all the shit that he accomplished. It also explains the origins of the vampire killer whip, being like the reason it's so powerful is because it's like alchemically enhanced. Yeah, I can tell you know your lore, and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. All right, we're probably going to wrap up soon. Because I am, you know, I don't want to keep rubbing it in that I'm sick, but like, I know I've been lately going on longer streams than this, and I feel kind of bad about having to, you know, do shorter ones, because I can't manage longer streams right now.
Don't feel bad, dude. Take care of yourself. Worry about you. Don't worry about, you know, letting us down. We completely understand. I'm pretty sure I speak for everybody here that we completely understand.
Yeah.
Your health is important.
One thing I will say before we wrap up tonight, whenever I reach a good stopping point, is I've got at least one Halloween outfit planned for Spooptober for my Maxine model. I'm thinking about what I can do with this model for like a Halloween outfit, but I've got the one for Maxine done, so look forward to that debuting hopefully soon, if I'm in the feminine side of the gender fluid spectrum anytime soon. And I'm still working. Shiba is still working on getting my new 2D model done, and then I've got to rig that, and I'm hoping to have it done by October 20th for my debut anniversary. It's either 3 or 4 years at this point. I've lost track.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
I think it's 3. I could be wrong, but I think it's 3.
I think it's 3 too. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. Still haven't decided what we're gonna do for that debut stream. It's probably not gonna be a gaming stream. Probably something different.
Yeah.
Something a little more involved with the community.
Ah, yes.
I'll post a teaser for the new Maxine Halloween outfit, both on Blue Sky and in the Discord server. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give away the whole outfit, but I'll post the most fitting bit of it that I think works for the character that she's dressed up as.
Okay.
That like a if you know you know kind of teaser.
Right.
And we'll be streaming this game again later this week. So keep an eye out for more Symphony of the Night later on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and fit in the new Lollipop Chainsaw remaster sometime. Probably on Thursday, if I'm not feeling too bad. And as far I played a little bit of the Lollipop Chainsaw remaster, I'm disappointed that major gaming outlets are refusing to review it. I don't think it's like the whole culture war brain rot thing that a lot of people are accusing it of like, they don't want to review it because it has conventionally pretty women. I'm like, I don't know what the reason is for not reviewing it, but I would appreciate it if you don't make one of my favorite not even really a Suda 5-1 game. It's basically a James Gunn game with Suda 5-1's name attached to it. But I would appreciate if you don't make one of my favorite cult classic PS3 and Xbox 360 games part of your stupid culture war against woke bullshit.
Yeah.
But the remaster is pretty good. It's got some bugs that they're working on fixing. It's missing most of the original licensed soundtrack due to this not having Warner Brothers backing it and footing the bill.
Yeah.
And it's missing the licensed anime costumes, but in exchange, they designed new costumes to replace them. And on the PC version, since it runs in Unreal Engine 5, both the music and the costumes are easy as shit to add back in.
Nice.
So if we do stream it, I'll be doing the modded version of the PC version that has the costumes and music returned to their original states. But anyways, let's get back over here and get out of the void. There we go. That's gonna do it for tonight. Let's see if there's any raid targets online.
Is Cloud still alive?
I'm trying to scroll down, but it's not letting me.
Yeah. I'm looking. I do not see them on my list.
Cloud is not still live.
Yeah.
But I see someone who is live that let's see. See a couple people who are live. I see one person who's live that I don't think we've ever rated before. Who's playing Wizard 101. It's an Emmy. So we're gonna raid them. Everyone give them a warm welcome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to JKR for being my co-host tonight. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, unpleasant dreams. And I promise I won't cut off your song this time.
Well, the boys of chorus, we hope you like our show. We know you're rooting for us, but now we have to go.
Good night, everybody.